This is Georgia Public Broadcasting, your PBS station.
Back the other way. Yes!
The Warriors are the champions of history in the making.
Lady Red Devils of
Georgia Public Broadcasting presents the 2009 Georgia High School Association's State Basketball Championships. Funding for this program is provided in part by Georgia's Electric Membership Corporations, the Georgia Student Finance Commission, Regions Bank, the Georgia Lottery, by viewers like you, and the Georgia High School Association, who wish to thank the Georgia Dodge dealers, State Farm, and Naturally Fresh for their support of GHSA athletic activities.
Live from the Macon Centerplex, it's the 2009 Class 3A GHSA State Basketball Girls Championship. Today it's the 31-2 Carrollton Lady Trojans taking on the 29-3 Lakeview Fort Oglethorpe Lady Warriors. A battle of teams out of 6 AAA. We're excited to have you with us. Good evening, everyone. Dave Garner alongside Dick Williams, my broadcast partner, back for another one right here. And tell you what, Dick, a great matchup here between two teams that have a little history this year.
They do. They do have a good bit of history, but they also feature the same kind of attack. Strong outside and strong inside. Key players on both sides.
Let's talk a little bit about this Carrollton Lady Trojan team. Of course, they were in the title game last year, and they're led by that young lady right there, Charisma Boykin, among others.
Well, Charisma Boykin, we saw her last year. She averages 17 points a game, but more importantly, she has 133 steals and 136 assists. So she's a good thief as well. But she is the principal outside threat.
Alyssa Jones, Charisma Boykin, Katisa Ridley, Janice Ely, and Cambry Winters, the starting five for Carrollton right there, again at 31-2 coming in to today's ball game. All right, Dick, let's talk a little bit about LFO. The Lakeview Fort Oglethorpe Lady Warriors have gotten it done all year long, 29-3 coming in. They've got a lot of great talent, and it starts with Kayla Weaver.
Well, Kayla Weaver is one of the outstanding shooters in the state of Georgia. She's shooting 42.9% from three-point range. And from what I hear about the Lakeview team, that three-point shot is heavily counted on for them. But they do have an inside presence. But I think we're going to see somebody special in Kayla Weaver.
Ashley McKenzie, Kayla Weaver, Jasmine Carey, Michelle Morgan, and Madison Smith make up the starting five for LFO. Again, a team ranked third in the state coming in. Carrollton ranked at number 2, and indeed a great matchup here today. Of course, Lakeview handing Carrollton one of their only losses on the season. Of course, that in the Region 6 AAA Championship. Let's go to the other member of our team here today. Lisa Weiss joins us courtside. Lisa, what's going on?
Thanks, Dave. This game is bound to be a battle till the end. As you said, LFO is making its first ever appearance in the state finals. And as a matter of fact, LFO had never won a playoff game before this year. Now the Lady Warriors won their region title for the first time in almost 2 decades. And yes, they did beat Carrollton for that crown. Not that Carrollton needed much more motivation because they lost here last year. But Dave, Coach Thomason did say he's kind of glad that LFO beat his girls because, you know what, just adds more fuel to the fire.
Well, that it does there indeed, Lisa. We look forward to talking to you throughout the broadcast here. But, yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun watching these two teams go at it. You know, Carrollton's got to be thinking a little bit about what happened a couple of weeks back in that region championship game. Right now, let's go courtside to our PA announcer, longtime announcer, Eddie Ashley, for tonight's introductions.
Carrollton Lady Trojans with a record of 31-2, dressed in black as your visitors on the scoreboard. And the Lakeview Fort Oglethorpe Lady Warriors with a record of 20-3, dressed in your white as the home team. May I have your attention for the starting lineups? First for Carrollton, at forward, a 5'9" senior, Janice Ely. At guard, number 12, a 5'4" senior, Alyssa Jones. At forward, number 20, a 5'8" junior, Cambry Winters. At guard, number 22, a 5'7" senior, Charisma Boykin. At center, number 30, a 6-foot senior, Kelsey Billings. And Carrollton's head coach, Sean Thomaston. And now for Lakeview Fort Oglethorpe. At guard, number 4, a 5'7" senior, Ashley McKenzie. At guard, number 5, a 5'8" senior, Kayla Weaver. At forward, number 12, a 5'9" junior, Michelle Morgan. At center, number 22, a 6-foot junior, Jasmine Carey. At forward, number 23, a 5'6" junior, Madison Smith. And Lakeview Fort Oglethorpe head coach.
This is Georgia Public Broadcasting, your PBS station.
Carrollton at 31-2, Lakeview Fort Oglethorpe at 29-3 as we welcome you to the Macon Centerplex for tonight's AAA Girls State Championship matchup. Dave Garner, Dick Williams with you, Lisa Weiss courtside along with the rest of the GPB crew, and looking forward to a great night of basketball. Carrollton will be wearing the road black and LFO in the home white here tonight. Dick, a great matchup here. Again, two teams playing a rematch of the Region 6 AAA Championship. Of course, LFO winning that matchup against Carrollton. One of just 2 Lady Trojan losses on the year. The other against another Final Four team in Baldwin. As you see our officials there, Andre Stevenson, Tony Doherty, and William Battle.
And they are from the Valdosta and the Albany area.
Little turnaround right there would not go for Janice Ely, and that's certainly a player to watch here tonight, number 4. Averaging 17 points a game. We focused on her up top here tonight.
Well, they've got the outside threat and Charisma Boykin at 17 points a game, and Janice Ely at 17 points a game inside.
Off the inbound. Again, that one knocked away. Ends up into the hands of Michelle Morgan, number 12. Again, Morgan, a 5'8" junior. Kicks it back out. Looking inside right here. LFO, again, is a good shooting team. Although they missed that one right there, they got a great perimeter shooter in Kayla Weaver.
I'm really looking forward to seeing anybody who can shoot 42.9 from 3. I want to see that.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Ashley McKenzie on the other end after the takeaway. It's going to be interesting to see how the early momentum plays out in a lot of the games this weekend. As you see McKenzie for the first 2 of the ball game for LFO.
We've had 2 games, you and I, that started out 9-0, 10-0.
LFO drawing first blood here inside the first minute. Carrollton on the other end. Again, that's Jones with the basketball. Shot off the mark, would not go. Jasmine Carey, really the big inside presence for this Lady Warrior team at 6 feet. McKenzie with the basketball over to Weaver.
Man-to-man defense for Carrollton.
Good cross-court look right here. Pull-up jumper off glass would not go for McKenzie. Carrollton back the other way, and so far here inside the first minute and a half, it's pretty much been one shot and out on both ends.
That's right.
There's 2 opportunities that time, though. Yeah, exactly.
Dave, you know that's how it works.
That's,
the minute you say it.
time, and they had 3 opportunities, but still couldn't get the shot to go right there. Near steal. Now Weaver pulls up. 3-point shot on the way. It's off the mark. And again, it might take 1 or 2 to get into the rhythm for both teams here. They played 2 minutes and just 2 points. Both teams averaging over 60 points a game. Lakeview Fort Oglethorpe with 64 offensively, and Carrollton averaging 61. They're giving up a lot less points, though. Again, this Lady Trojan team really prides itself on its defense, allowing just 31 points on the season to its opponents. 3-point shot on the other end, off the mark, wouldn't go for Cambry Winters, the 5'9" junior, but Carrollton will reset the half court. And that one taken away. And there's one of the defenses we're talking about right there. Both teams really shutting it down inside.
That was quite a battle between Lakeview's Jasmine Carey and the defender for Carrollton.
So Carey gives it up right there. Basketball inside. McKenzie off the front of the iron, blocking foul. And that one going to go. against the Lady Trojans. See Kayla Weaver, number 5, taking it inside right there. Foul going to be on Ridley. There you get a look at Coach Sean Thomaston. 220 wins, 11th season at Carrollton, has put together an impressive run. And I'll tell you what, he's another young-looking guy right there. Doesn't look like he's been around enough to win that many games.
Exactly. You almost wonder if, you know, he's the 8th grade substitute teacher.
Weaver knocking down the first free throw. She'll have another. And it's 2 for 2. 4-0 lead here for Lakeview Fort Oglethorpe out of the gate.
Now the Lady Warriors of LFO are going to press it up a little bit with half-court trapping action.
Nice job there by McKenzie to get a hand on that one and knock it out of bounds. In Carrollton, as we mentioned, you see Wayne Weaver, 20th season at LFO overall, 146 record.
And father of Kayla Weaver.
Absolutely.
His leading scorer.
Weaver, of course, the all-time leading scorer at LFO, and also owns a couple of other school records as well.
That fellow who graduated from the school, went away to college, came home, said, "This is my home. I'm staying here."
We'll take another look at that last whistle right here. You see the inlet there by Winters going inside to Katisa Ridley. And you see Ridley's numbers right there, 7.2 points, 5.5 rebounds a game. And misses on the first. Ridley again, a 5'8" junior, trying to get Carrollton on the scoreboard here. And misses on the second. And I believe foot on the line right there by Michelle Morgan, so Carrollton will maintain the possession. Player substitution right here for Carrollton. Looks like number 12, Alyssa Jones, will step back into the lineup. And you see Boykin, who will inbound it. Oh, great move to the hoop right there by Katisa Ridley. Ridley with her first 2 of the night, and there was a wide open lane. Take another look at it right here. Boy, Ridley came out of nowhere and was not accounted for by the LFO defense. Back on the other end. Ashley McKenzie with the basketball. There's Kayla Weaver. Quiet so far here. Oh, there's a takeaway. Took her eyes off the pass right there. Boykin on the other end, knocked away, but good hustle there by Carey.
Took her eyes off and got bopped in the nose, and there you are.
So that was Madison Smith back there on defense. LFO, of course, their first region championship in almost 2 decades when they beat Carrollton a couple of weeks back. First title game here tonight.
Man-to-man defense for LFO, nothing fancy. Nose up.
Boykin up top right now, again being guarded by Smith, the 5'4" junior.
Carrollton looking to go inside. That didn't work, off the hands.
Nope, had it taken away. McKenzie ahead. There's Weaver spinning, puts up a tough shot, hits. Kayla Weaver with 4 points, and I tell you what, she's been so consistent in the postseason. 35, Dick, against Stevens County in round 2, and 33 last night in that big win over Baldwin to advance to tonight's championship game.
Well, she appears to be a pressure player. She looks like the type who wants the ball in key situations. That was a really nice spin move she made.
Into the lane right there. Boykin had it knocked away. Meanwhile, Carrollton, of course, taking care of business last night against Rutland, 68-51. Slow start in that game for Carrollton. In fact, they trailed by 4 at the break, but opened the third quarter with a 20-4 run.
Well, they're not off to a rocket ride. They're not off to a rocket ride in this one so far.
No.
They'll get it together, but
well, 6-2. LFO leads Carrollton in the Class 3A Girls State Championship. And let's go ahead and send it downstairs. Lisa Weiss standing by with a special guest. Lisa.
Dave, joining me now is Carrollton's principal, Mark Albertus. And I know you guys were here last year and you made it back again this year. What does that say about this program and how exciting has it been?
Well, we're proud of our girls. They know how hard what the hard work it takes to get here, and they've worked really hard. They're great student athletes, and we've had a great showing from the Trojan Nation supporting them. And we say hello to everybody back in Carrollton.
Well, thank you so much, time, and enjoy the rest of the game. Dave, back to you.
All right, thanks, Lisa. Yeah, Mr. Albertus and the Trojan Nation in the house here tonight, and the Lady Warrior faithful have also traveled well from Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia here tonight as well. Close to Chattanooga there, making the trip down here to Macon.
Almost as far north as still be in Georgia.
Meanwhile, Carrollton over on the west side there as well, closer to Alabama. So, yeah, both teams traveling well. And there's a jump ball call.
Forced by Kayla Weaver on the drive. Nice piece of defense.
And that will be LFO basketball. There you see Weaver. We were talking about Weaver, Dick, and the records that she has at LFO, not only the leading scorer, but also the leading assist leader, the leader in steals, and the leader in a couple other categories there, three-point shooting and so forth, that she's meant so much to that program in her 4 years.
Well, you know, I've certainly know of her accomplishments. You know, I live in Dunwoody, and she was part of that LFO team last weekend that knocked Dunwoody out of the state basketball tournament. Dunwoody girls were having a fine year, one of the best in a long time, until they ran into Lakeview Fort Oglethorpe.
And that was an exciting ball game, 52-49 in the quarterfinals. And Jasmine Carey had 20 points to lead the way in that game. Of course, that win propelling Lakeview Fort Oglethorpe into the semis, as you see the turnover story so far. Carrollton with 5, LFO with 2, and there's 3 points for number 4, Ashley McKenzie.
Ashley McKenzie coming through. Dave, you and I, warm-ups mean nothing, but you and I were noticing during the warm-ups that this Lakeview team can really shoot.
Yes, they can. Very few misses during warm-ups, and there Carrollton answers on the other end. You see Kelsey Billings, number 30. Nine-4 advantage, 5-point lead for LFO here, with a little over 2 minutes left in this opening quarter.
I think Carrollton wants to go inside more than LFO does. And that last basket was an example of what they're trying to accomplish. Whereas I think Lakeview is perfectly content to settle for a 3 with the gaudy shooting stats they've got.
Traveling going to be called there on Michelle Morgan. So right back to the Lady Trojans it goes. I just see Coach Weaver looking on there, trying to rally the troops there. You know, it's got to be exciting when you have that father-daughter, that coach-daughter combination, I guess, if you will, there, and being able to look out, see your senior playing there, and what she's meant to this program. But I wonder how that changes. I wonder how you look at the game as a coach when you're in that situation.
Well, I think in most cases I've seen, the daughter or the son is an extension of the coach's thinking because they've grown up with it.
Right.
And Dunwoody, for example, head coach Angela Nash had her daughter playing for it, leading the team. And generally, they're just a reflection of whatever the coach's particular philosophy is.
LFO working on the other end. Weaver thought about it, stops, kicks it back out. You see Jasmine Carey trying to create some space there. Took that shot from way out and got the roll.
That's a long turnaround.
Should say that wasn't one of those little 4 or 5 footers in the lane right
nope.
there. Carey with her first 2 of the night, the 6-foot junior, averaging over 13.5 points. 3-point shot on the other end is there for Janice Ely, who scores for the first time here tonight.
And of course, we think of Janice Ely as the inside player. She found that arc.
Ely, 5'9", averages about 17 points a game. Tight defense right there, not giving Weaver a whole lot of room here, and you're not going to be able to do that here tonight.
Weaver's really having to fight through some serious defensive activity. She's not getting around the screens very easily.
Well, you know that's got to be a game plan coming in.
Sure.
For Coach.
Because they don't want her to. They want her to get her feet set to shoot. So they want to bump her a little bit out there.
You saw Carey's numbers, the 6-foot junior, knocking down the first from the stripe. Number 3, Jessica White, a 5'10" freshman in the lineup for LFO. Jones back in for the Lady Trojans. Second one on the way by Carey. Rims out of there, no good. 1 of 2 on that trip, 12-7. LFO advantage. Under a minute here in this first period. Oh, great look inside right there. Just couldn't quite hit the shot. Ripped out of there, though, and kept alive by Ely, and then knocked away by Carey, and a whistle underneath.
Again, Carroll needs to get that ball closer to the basket. They want to pound it down there and use a little bit of a size edge they've got. It's not a dramatic advantage.
Three team fouls now on LFO.
Zoning the inbound, of course.
have to kick it way out. Heads up play right there by Boykin. Kind of let that ball go and not have to worry about touching it and then getting called for a backcourt there.
Smart play. Let it go on into the backcourt.
Tough one right there.
Player control right there.
Offensive going against Ely, and I believe that's going to be her second personal. Nice job there indeed there by McKenzie, and I've been impressed so far with Ashley McKenzie. You know, there's so much focus that goes into Kayla Weaver, but some of those other seniors have certainly stepped up this year. McKenzie is one of them.
Apparently they all can shoot too.
Okay.
Turnover, travel call. Ball goes back to Carrollton.
Wow. Well, you know, we've seen a lot in these championships, Dick, where the turnovers and then the other teams converting them into points has certainly produced some state champions, and that's been the key in a lot of the games.
Two of the games we've seen, 2 classifications, that's right.
This ball game pretty tight right here, but usually that's what it comes down to is those turnovers. Really trying to look.
A lot of battling going on inside.
Oh, that's a great shot right there. They're going to wave off the basket, say it was on the floor. Boykin thought she was going to have a chance at a 3-point play. You can see the Carrollton faithful not liking that call very much.
No, they don't. They never do on that situation.
It's going to be the first on Kayla Weaver. So as it is, Boykin will inbound from underneath her own goal right here. Trying to get it in, just beats the 5-second call. Boykin with a nice move there along the baseline, puts up a tough shot, hits, wow.
Good crossover by Charisma Boykin to get free on the baseline.
12-9 to a one-possession game with time winding down here in the first period. That shot's too strong. Kept alive, and time will run out. We'll step aside, take a break.
This is Georgia Public Broadcasting, your PBS station.
LFO Lady Warriors lead by 3 in this Class 3A Girls State Championship. And the Carrollton Lady Trojans have traveled well and making a lot of noise right here. We've got just a 3-point ball game. Dave Garner, Dick Williams with you. Lisa Weiss courtside along with the rest of the GPB crew. And so far after a quarter, good ball game back and forth. Both teams admittedly, though, like to generate a little bit more offense.
Yes, of course, but they're playing hard. Each team is playing very hard defensively. And they're still sounding each other out, feeling each other out a little bit to see what's going to work.
Carrollton working inside, lost the handle on it out of bounds. LFO lays claim to 2 state championships, one in baseball, 71-72 season right there, and also girls cross country in 2007.
Breakaway pass, right to Ashley McKenzie.
Jasmine Carey with 3 points in that first quarter. LFO was led by McKenzie with 5. Meanwhile, Carrollton had Janice Ely with a 3-point shot to lead the way. After that, 3 different players with a pair each. And that shot by Weaver off the mark would not go. Carrollton back and running the other way. And Carrollton playing in the state championship last year, falling short against Kendrick, but find themselves back in this year's championship in 3A. And going up against a team they played in their region championship and fell to. Again, 44-38 the final in that one. LFO upsetting Carrollton in that ball game. Carrollton, despite that loss, still comes in as the 2-ranked team in the state.
Well, that Carrollton loss last year to Kendrick, which you and I broadcast, where they were overwhelmed by superior numbers. They just, Kendrick had an unusual style, used an unusual number of players, and Carrollton ran out of gas, was my memory.
Kayla Weaver working inside, lays it up off the glass. Good looking move right there, and she's got 6.
You can tell she's a coach's daughter. Her form on her shot is perfect. She released that layup at just the right moment. She's a really well-schooled player.
And a blocking foul going to be caught on LFO. Coach Weaver right there looking on, wanted the charge, but did not get the call.
But there she's set. Michelle, Ashley McKenzie looked like she'd gotten to the spot. Of course, we're looking at it in a little slower time than the official has to make that call.
Charisma Boykin at the line, shooting a pair, knocks down the first. And Boykin has been so impressive throughout the postseason, had 20 in that game last night. You see her output here today already, the senior, playing her final game as a Lady Trojan. The second one rims out of there. Boykin had 16 in the quarterfinals against Columbia. Also had 20 in round 1 against Carver Atlanta and double figures in round 2 against Chestatee. So she's been very consistent in this year's postseason all the way to the state championship game. And there's a takeaway by Carrollton inside.
If you'll notice, Kayla Weaver on almost every offensive possession stops, looks back at her father for the play call. So maybe she's not in a total mind meld.
Right, exactly. Still relies on Dad there a little bit. Meanwhile, a 4-point ball game right here. LFO with the basketball. Still not really shooting an outside game here yet. As you see Jasmine Carey take it up and draw the whistle.
And Carey seems to be playing outside and then going to the basket.
2 fouls on Billings, as you see Carey put up the first one. Misses it. Carey with 3 points here today. Number 34, Jackie Shattuck, the 5'8" sophomore, will step in.
As we look at Coach Sean Thomaston, we commented at the outset how young he looks. I teased about perhaps he's the 8th grade substitute teacher. He actually teaches at the middle school, Carroll.
So you were pretty close there, absolutely. Carey unable to hit the free throws, kept alive though underneath there by Madison Smith, but then could not get the putback to go. So LFO comes up empty on that trip. It remains a 4-point ball game right here. Boykin, great pass, fired that ball in there somehow or another.
Pass, slipping up on the weak side, nobody boxing out over there. Nicely done.
Back on the other end. Weaver, tough drive, too strong. And we got to push underneath, that one going against LFO.
Michelle Morgan commits the foul.
Here's that last Lady Trojan
What a pass
bucket.
from Boykin, trapped on the end line and finds her comrade right all alone on the weak side of the basket.
Morgan called for that last foul. Boykin fires it across. Shot put up and in and out for Cambry Winters. Rolling around in there.
Oh, nice save, nice save.
All alone on the other end. Oh, and Morgan unable to hit the bucket. That's a tough break right there in a 2-point ball game. So now Carrollton with a chance to possibly tie it up or take the lead here with 5 minutes to go in the half.
Lakeview Fort Oglethorpe extending its defense, pushing, trying to push Carrollton out further. Got a real scrum there.
Yeah, jump ball call, possession arrow, LFO.
Rugby match begins in 10 minutes.
But you know, Dick, it's a situation where Carrollton has not had the best of starts in some of their games this year. In fact, trailing by just 4 against Rutland there at one point. Coach Thomaston was actually pretty relieved at the way they played, that they were within 4 right there. But this is really a second half team. So, you know, trailing by 2 right here, certainly things are looking good for Carrollton. Playing an excellent team like Lakeview Fort Oglethorpe.
Carey kind of forced that one up on the right side of the hoop.
Long pass right there and a good look. Inside and 2 points for Katisa Ridley.
Got a ball game.
Tied up at 14 all. As we near the halfway point of this second quarter. Kayla Weaver has not had a lot of room to operate. Oh, nice pass inside. Michelle Morgan, the benefactor of that look. What a sequence by this Lady Warrior team.
See him extending the defense, making it more difficult, forcing the 3 there.
3-point shot is there for Boykin.
That's her second. Same spot.
6 points, 30-second timeout on the floor. 17-16 Carrollton with their first lead of the night. 3:53 to play here in the second period. It's a 30-second timeout. We'll keep the action right here for you, but I'll tell you what, just a great job by Carrollton. Worked their way back in this game. They were trailed by 3 after the first quarter, and here they are.
Well, those 2 3-pointers from the left side, Beckers and Boykin, that last was a dagger, and I think probably what Coach Wayne Weaver's talking to his team about is why is that left side of the defense open, so vacant so much. They've had several scoring opportunities over there and 2 threes.
First lead of the night for the Lady Trojans.
Let's go, ladies.
1-point lead with 3:53 to play here in period number 2. Stay close.
Big full court pressure, trapping press from Carrollton. So successfully navigated.
But, we talk about defense, and both these teams pride themselves on defense. As we mentioned, Carrollton allowing just 31, but LFO also pretty strong as well, just 41 allowed per game this season to their opponents.
Well, they both extend their defenses quite well. Carrollton, of course, playing man-to-man, looking to double Weaver occasionally. Here she comes, almost ran into the double team and gave it up. That's what she's got to do.
Traveling going to be called there on LFO. Timeout on the floor with 3-6. 1-point game in this 3A Girls Championship. Let's go to Lisa Weiss courtside with another guest. Lisa.
Now is LFO's principal, Jerry Ransom, and I know this has been an exciting, historic season for this girls basketball team.
It really has. We've been to the playoffs a few times before this year, but had never even won a playoff game, and to get here to the final game is really something special that we're real proud of them about.
Well, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of the game. Dave, back to you.
All right, thanks, Lisa. And Dick, it's got to be exciting for LFO, a team that, again, hadn't won a region game. I mean, they've been in the playoffs several times, or a state game, rather, just haven't been able to get over that hump. And, boy, when they did it this year, they did it right, didn't they?
They did it right, but
went all the way.
Girls basketball has always been pretty strong at Lakeview. I'm astounded by the statistic that they never won a state playoff game. That's, sometimes just random luck will get you a victory one year in and out.
Of course, last year lost in the first round against Osborne. Finished the year 20-7. There's 2 points for the Lady Trojans.
Was that Boykin again? I think it was.
8 points for Charisma Boykin, who continues to fire away here in this first half.
Alyssa Jones of Carrollton was just hounding Kayla Weaver when she came.
Weaver again twice in this postseason, over 30 points.
Now Boykin's playing Weaver.
Yep. So far,
they'll look to set a pick for her to get her loose for an open look. She goes right inside.
And that's Carey.
Nicely done by Jasmine Carey.
That might be part of that game plan there again. Carey, good inside-out attack, obviously, with Carey and Weaver.
Well, that's what we've been told to look for with this ball club.
That one nearly knocked away. We talked about Carrollton's just 2 losses there. Both of them coming to semifinal teams. LFO in the region championship, and Baldwin, a team that, of course, LFO beat last night. It was almost another rematch there with Carrollton and Baldwin.
The Baldwin Bravettes.
That's right.
Not the Lady Braves,
nope.
The Bravettes.
Bravettes. Oh, a tough shot right there. Little off balance for Alyssa Jones. And LFO out of there with it. Meanwhile, LFO's 3 losses on the year. No AAA losses this year. They lost to Northwest Whitfield, a 4A school. They lost to Gordon Lee, who's a single A. And a team out of Tennessee, McMinn Central, a pretty big high school in Tennessee.
Very big public high school, yeah.
Yep. That was, of course, a tournament play. There's a nice turnaround by Michelle Morgan, who had one of those a while ago.
Morgan's the quiet one. She averages 9 points a game, but she's obviously pivotal to the team with those 9 points.
Traveling going to be called on Boykin right there. Little uncertainty.
We're going to talk a lot about Kayla Weaver and Jasmine Carey, who combined for 40 points a game. But you got to remember that Morgan has her 9, and McKenzie has her 10 points a game. Actually, McKenzie number 4.
Right. Back down to the other end. An open look for Weaver. Puts up the shot. Won't go, but it will stay with the Lady Warriors. Last touched by Carrollton.
If this game remains this close, she's going to have to capitalize on the open looks. Doesn't break away.
Yeah, taken away nicely. Cambry Winters inside. And 2 points for Boykin. 2 more. Looked like McKenzie may have got a hand on that ball, but Carrollton able to make it stick. Looking inside. Oh, another nice look in there to Morgan. 2 more for Michelle Morgan, the 5A junior. She's got 6.
She's approaching her average. She's having a good game.
Under a minute here in this first half. 22-21 LFO. Good ball game here tonight in this 3A Girls GHSA State Championship. Jones trying to create a little bit of space with the dribble there. Drew a couple of defenders in. It gave Boykin an open look from the corner.
Sure enough, that's the 4th time they've been wide open over there. Boykin had converted the previous 2.
3 returning starters on this year's LFO team.
Well, they play very confidently. They play like they've played together a while. We know the Carrollton bunch has.
Firing inside, and once again, Morgan with 2 more, and LFO has found something inside there.
Just as Carrollton has found that left side of the LFO defense, LFO has found that entry pass from the right side.
3-point ball game, 7 seconds left. Carrollton with one last chance to pull within one or tie it up. Jones puts up a tough shot and hits the roll, and it counts. Nice job there, Alyssa Jones, and it will count, and that is makes it a 1-point ball game here at the break, 24-23. Lisa Weiss is standing by with Coach Weaver.
Coach Weaver, it's an exciting close game. 1 point between the two of you. Any changes or anything you're going to do differently in the second half?
Well, hopefully we'll play our defense a little bit better. We gave them some easy looks that we don't normally give up. They're well coached, better prepared than the last time for it. So I figured that might happen some. Just basically we got to make some. We missed a couple easy buckets. They did too. So it's a pretty close matchup.
It is. Thank you so much. Good luck in the second half. Dave, back to you.
All right.
This is Georgia Public Broadcasting, your PBS station.
A 1-point ball game here at the break as we get set for the second half. Let's go courtside to Lisa Weiss, standing by with Coach Thomaston. Lisa.
Coach Thomaston, in a very exciting first half. What did you tell your girls in the locker room?
We for whatever reason, we've been getting off to slow starts the past 2 or 3 games. But we've continued to battle throughout all those games and, fighting all the way to the end. And I told them this game should be no different than the rest of them. We got into some early foul trouble. For whatever reason, early in the game, made some costly turnovers. So I told them, let's settle down, relax, enjoy the game, have fun, and let's win this thing.
All right, Coach, thank you so much. Good luck in the second half. Dave, back to you.
All right, thanks, Lisa. And taking a look back at the first half,
it was the Boykin show. It was Charisma Boykin supplying the firepower, getting loose on that left wing for a 3. She plays effectively inside and out. There she is going inside for a hoop. On the LFO end, it's been very nice interior passing. That one to Michelle Morgan. And then we see Morgan again on the left side, comes back to the right with a nice spin move. And finally, Kayla Weaver here, who's only got 6 points, throws a beautiful pass to Morgan for a basket. And we've got a 1-point game. And by the way, how about that young coach? 220 wins.
Absolutely, 11 years for Coach Thomaston right there, and 220 indeed. Certainly a very impressive number. So here we go into the second half with a 1-point ball game. Dave Garner, Dick Williams with you. Lisa Weiss courtside, along with the rest of the GPB crew. Wall-to-wall action as championship weekend continues right here on GPB. And there's a bucket right there. Good-looking shot by Cambry Winters. And a good start for Carrollton in the second half as they go up 1. Winters' first bucket of the night.
A little more pressure here now from Carrollton.
Well, and I think after hearing from Coach Thomaston, we could probably expect a little bit of that indeed out of these Lady Trojans here in the second half.
Now we've got Boykin playing Weaver. That's going to put a little more pressure on Weaver. Boykin's going to shatter her for at least the start of the second half.
Weaver had 33 points last night in that win over Baldwin. She's got 6 here to open up this third quarter. So somewhat quiet there indeed, but you certainly can't take it for granted because the moment you take your eye off of her.
She tried to pop out to take that ball, and Boykin broke it up. Very nicely done on the defensive side.
Healy on the other end. The LFO got a hand on it defensively. Goes out of bounds. And it will go back to the Lady Warriors. Ashley McKenzie with 5 points here on the night. We're going to look at the game trends. 1 tie, 4 lead change. It's been a great game. And off the inbound right there it goes. The Lady Trojans pick up a couple. Again, Winters with 2 more. So back-to-back buckets by Winters here to open up this third quarter. And it's a 3-point Carrollton lead.
They're trying to isolate Weaver. There it is. There's her look.
3-point shot.
Boykin was right on it.
Yeah, she was.
That was not a real clean look.
And double dribble looked like in the backcourt right there. A little miscommunication between Ely and Jones, it appeared. And so the ball goes right back to LFO just like that.
I like Alyssa Jones, number 12 for Carrollton. She's a calm, cool, collected player.
That one knocked away. Boykin again got a hand, and I tell you what, number 22 has really been everywhere in this ball game for Carrollton, offensively and defensively.
And now coming out and taking on the challenge of taking on one of the state's best pure shooters and the high scorer for the Lady Warriors.
Well, Jasmine Carey has really been the dominant player inside for this LFO offense, but tonight it's been Michelle Morgan, number 12, whose jersey they found more often than not. With those 8 points there. Here's Ashley McKenzie, who's also been very busy.
Simple exchange among the guards. They're waiting for Weaver to break, but she's really covered by Morgan. Boykin.
Madison Smith gives it off to Carey, now passes it off.
Let's restart that offense, and this time Kayla Weaver will start it.
Weaver again, a 5'8" senior. Trying to get open, but cannot get away from Boykin.
Now she wants to pop out on the wing, but Boykin recovered very quickly.
There is an open look right there, though, for Smith, who's unable to hit the bucket right there. So nice job, really, defensively all the way around by that Lady Trojan team.
And now maybe it's time for LFO to look to run the offense through someone else.
Knocked away. Good little spin move there. Very athletic play by Alyssa Jones. You were just talking about her and how impressed you were with her.
I really, she's kind of an unsung hero on this team. But what is refreshing to see is Charisma Boykin's defense. She is just all over the case in this quarter.
3-point shot on the way. Would not go for winners. Kept alive, though, underneath. And they push inside as Billings gets the call. It's going to be 2 on Morgan.
2 on Morgan.
First team foul of the second half for either club. 3-point ball game, 5:21 to play here in this third quarter.
And the foul becomes like a turnover in this case because Carrollton gets another good look. Short.
Short on that one by Ely. Carrollton, 2007, lost in the quarterfinals, of course, advancing to the state championship game right here in Macon last year, falling short to Kendrick, state runner-up. And, you know, you talk about how hard it is to win back-to-back championships. It's hard to get back to this game period back-to-back, and that's exactly what Carrollton's done this year. A lot of talent. And that pass just a little too strong. Got to be under control.
Well, and on that last possession for Lakeview Fort Oglethorpe, Jasmine Carey was a little out of control. She took the long pass and she saw that basket. It looked real big to her, and she overshot it as she tried to bank it off the glass.
Raven Trammell, 25. You saw her into the lineup.
Screen jump. The screen ends up in a double team. They've got Weaver pretty well bottled up for the moment.
Knocked away and last touch by Weaver. So another turnover forced by Boykin right there. Man, unbelievable. This is a team that forces a lot of turnovers. They forced about 25 turnovers against Carver Atlanta in round 1. Of course, Boykin had 20 points in that ball game and created a lot of those turnovers. And also Alyssa Jones created about a dozen of them on her own. It looks like we do have a timeout on the floor right here. Coach Thomaston wants a 30-second timeout with 4:21 left in the third period. A 3-point ball game. Carrollton again up 27-24. For complete coverage of the state GHSA basketball championships and to find out how to support sports programming on GPB, go to gpb.org/basketball to learn more. Again, GHSA championship info. And Dick, I know you're going to be logging onto that website here. And
I hear the website's had tremendous traffic with the video streaming of these playoff games. Apparently, there's a real appetite for that out there, and I think that's great. Everybody's a multimedia platform these days.
Absolutely. GPB's right there, though. Of course, have added a lot in the last year or so. And there you get a look at it right there. No field goals this quarter for LFO. Very uncharacteristic. They've gone almost half the period without hitting anything from the field.
His defensive changes have just stymied the Lady Warriors. And the idea of having Boykin playing Weaver has really knocked Lakeview Fort Oglethorpe off their pins a bit.
And meanwhile, Carrollton with just 4 points of their own, so certainly not necessarily tearing it up, but they do have the lead nonetheless right here. LFO hasn't hit a point, in fact, in the second half. Again, it was 24-23 at the break, and it's 27-24 right now.
So here's Jasmine Carey outside. Boykin is just open.
You can tell that was the game plan coming in. Charisma Boykin going to be pinned to number 5 wherever she goes.
But she's doing a fine job of it.
And
blocked
there's a block.
that shot.
Yep, she did. Back
and a breakaway to Boykin.
On the other end, lays it up. Nearly got a +1 situation right there, but Boykin will go to the line and shoot a pair. And that's just a great sequence all the way around by number 22.
You'll see she gets pushed from the back and clipped from the side. They had to prevent the basket.
And this is going to look like
they made an intentional foul on the push.
Yes.
It was the push by Weaver in the back from behind. So this is a costly penalty. It's 2 free throws plus possession.
10 points, 4 rebounds. You saw it right there, and Boykin will knock it down. Her first point of the second half. She's got 11. Foul by Madison Smith, her second. Second one on the way by Boykin, misses that one.
Could this be like Redan in Class 4A? Been there once, come back and win it.
Coach Thomaston going to bring his team over. We'll step aside and take a break with him. 28-24, Carrollton leads it back with the rest of the third quarter when we return live to the Macon Centerplex. Simone High shooting a pair of free throws. Number 11, Shea Lewis in the lineup. Also 22, Janae Merritt.
And they're even pressing here because this is what they do.
Jasmine Thomas, 23, also in the lineup. Last shot is short, and that will do it. The celebration is on. 79-67, the final. Kendrick, your 2008 AAA girls. A lot of talk coming in about this Lakeview Fort Oglethorpe outside game, but so far it's the Carrollton Lady Trojans who have put the clamps on, and they lead it by 4, 28-24 here with 3:49 left here in this third period. Dave Garner, Dick Williams with you. Lisa Weiss courtside along with the rest of the GPB crew in a good ball game here tonight that's gone back and forth. A lot of lead changes, and that's what you like to see in a championship game.
But these next 2 minutes will be critical for the Lakeview Fort Oglethorpe Lady Warriors. Kayla Lewis did not score in the third period. And I think that just symbolizes why Carrollton has taken the lead. I wonder when the last time she suffered a scoreless quarter. We don't have those records, but it doesn't happen very often. You can bet on that, and that's because of the defense.
Field goes right there. Carrollton 12 of 28, LFO 10 of 24.
Not brilliant shooting by either side.
No, but pretty close statistically, and hence the closeness on the scoreboard right here. 4-point game. Boykin has certainly stepped up huge here tonight, as she's done pretty much all year long. Certainly no surprise. That shot a little bit short. And it looks like we've got a whistle and a foul. It's going to go against Carrollton. Going to go against Winters, it looks like.
This is shaping up to be one of these games where every possession is so important.
Yes.
And those little 4- and 5-foot open shots that are missed, those are just killers.
Jasmine Carey, the 6-footer, handling the ball and had it taken away. Alyssa Jones inside. Tough shot, would not go. No whistle there. Healy, of course, hit the deck. But Ashley McKenzie out of there with it for LFO. On the other side, that shot wouldn't go by McKenzie. Now push in the lane. That one's going to go against Trammell.
That's Ashley McKenzie driving through there, and then the tussle for the rebound between Jasmine Carey and the foul as she tried to recover the ball. Lisa Weiss tells us that during that timeout, Coach Weaver told his LFO girls when they get the ball, bring it back to the inside quickly. He felt they weren't penetrating beyond the arc here. In this situation, he wants them to go quickly to the basket. He calls the play. It's called the thumbs down play.
Just 2 team fouls apiece here in this third period. That one off the glass wouldn't go for Carey. Back the other way.
Kelsey Billings doing a very nice job on the boards for the Carrollton team.
But look at Boykin throwing that ball up right there. Knew she was going to draw the contact. Kind of twisted her body right there to give herself at least a chance at a 3-point play. But she will go to the line nonetheless. So So Boykin back at the stripe here, knocks down the first one. That's going to be 2 on Jasmine Carey. Coach Thomaston's team up by 5. As you see Boykin's numbers, 12 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists. Knocks down point number 13. Big game for Boykin. 30-24, largest lead of the night for the Lady Trojans. They lead it by 6.
Ashley McKenzie now is bringing a different dimension against that pressure. Boykin fights through that screen, and I think she
forced the screen right there. How about that? Back the other way. That one's going to go against Madison Smith. I'll tell you what, Boykin is fighting and clawing and scratching away through picks and screens and everything.
Well, I guess the foul was called because Madison Smith moved on the screen.
Yeah, 7-0 run by Carrollton this quarter.
But Boykin clearly was determined to fight through that screen to get to Weaver.
And that one's going to be offensive back the other way. Nice job by McKenzie to hold her ground. She has taken a few here tonight.
Oh, there it is. She had position all the way. And but Boykin's an aggressive player. Here she comes, number 4, Ashley McKenzie, courageously taking the charge. The question, I guess, for one side of fans would be, did she slip a little bit to her left as she took that contact?
Yeah. Well, and part of that might have been, too, Boykin's momentum going forward as well, the way she did, kind of going into her there.
Well, it's interesting that Coach Weaver told his girls to get the ball inside because they were trapped out here at the arc and beyond for virtually most of the third quarter.
Off the inbound, McKenzie trying to swing it back out. Weaver hasn't been able to touch the ball much here in this third quarter.
Well, she certainly can't spot up to shoot the way Boykin's playing her. She's got to have a clear screen, and they got to keep Boykin from fighting through it. There it is.
3-point shot on the way. That one off the backboard. She's not had a lot of room to shoot the ball here tonight. There's a good look by Weaver. Back to her, puts up the shot, won't go. So even when she has had the opportunity, she's really having to rush her shots.
Well, she got the ball in a tight spot on the baseline. She made a nice pass to the other side, and they came back and found her, but it wasn't there.
3-point shot on the other side, a high archer, but it wouldn't go for Jones as she misses it. LFO trying to cut into that 6-point lead, just a 2-possession game still with a little over a minute left in this third period, but either way, this thing's not going to be decided until we hit the fourth quarter and probably the end of it.
No question.
Good
nice
ball game,
pass, nice pass by Weaver, almost too good a pass.
Well, and Carey couldn't handle the pass there, though, and lost it off her leg and out of bounds.
But Coach Wayne Weaver has adjusted so quickly. There they were pinned out there by that very aggressive man-to-man defense. Now he's hiding Kayla Weaver in different spots and having her cut to open space.
The LFO won 44-38 in the region championship. Both teams play in the same region, but they did not meet during the regular season because they do have sub-regions in 6 AAA. Whereas Fort Oglethorpe out of sub A and Carrollton out of sub B. And you see the putback and one. Wow, what a job. Kelsey Billings, number 30. Chance for a 3-point play.
She's having a really good game, especially on the glass.
5 team fouls now on LFO, which is 33 seconds left here in the quarter. This is the free throw, unable to complete the 3-point play right there, and now a whistle going to go against Carrollton. Looks like that might be the 3rd on Ely. Janice Ely has been one of the leaders, but she's been somewhat quiet here tonight, averaging 17, just 3 points. Well, you know, it's probably a situation where both teams, they knew they had to pick that key player on both sides to try to shut down. As you see a drought here by LFO. Their last field goal was with 52 seconds left before the half.
Wow. Oh my goodness, that's more than 8 minutes. Kayla Weaver 2 for 11 from the field. And as she goes, so goes Lakeview Fort Oglethorpe. She's having one of those nightmare shooting nights.
3-point shot by McKenzie is off the mark, would not go, 1 and out. Ely with the rebound, back the other way. Kicks it ahead to Jones, who puts up a nice little pass there inside. Wow, what a nice job back in there to Billings.
Billings.
And Carrollton has opened up a 10-point lead at the end of the third. To the fourth quarter we go.
This is Georgia Public Broadcasting, your PBS station.
Well, they're going to look at the girls AAA state champions since 2000. Gainesville on that list 3 times. Hephzibah, Avondale, East Hall, Kendrick making up the last 4. And Carrollton and LFO trying to stencil their name onto that list as well.
You know, when you look at these lists and you see a team with 2 or 3 consecutive state titles, you know, Gainesville, Coach Manson Kennedy had Tasha Butts in those years for those state championships, who went on to a great career at UGA.
Here into the 4th quarter. Carrollton has opened up a 10-point lead and did so with quite a run. 11-0 quarter. LFO did not score a point in that 3rd period. We talk about uncharacteristic, averaging 64 points a game offensively. It's amazing that Kayla Weaver didn't even score, much less the entire Lady Warrior team that quarter.
That's a nightmare. That's one that just you lose sleep over in the future. The scoreless 3rd quarter for the team and for Kayla Weaver. And again, this 2 for 11 shooting is the stressor. Remember, she shoots 42.9 from 3 for the season.
Not much of a factor here tonight. Credit Charisma Boykin for that. Boykin, you know, her 13 points has meant a lot offensively, obviously, to this Carrollton team, but I think her effort defensively against Kayla Weaver has meant even more.
Lisa Weiss tells us that during the quarter break, Sean Alexander, another steal. This one,
Alyssa Jones lays it up.
Can't finish.
Out of bounds.
The defense of Jasmine Carey overrode that shot for Alyssa Jones. But anyway, Sean Thomaston, the coach at Carrollton, told his girls that they had to double team Kayla Weaver on every possession. And he wants her locked up, and he wants them to stick to their game plan. But that's what's happening. Whenever they try to screen for Kayla Weaver, another defender's jumping in.
They're going to look at the road to this championship game for Carrollton. Of course, defeated Carver Atlanta in round 1, 55-36. Chestatee in round 2. Columbia in round 3, just a 2-point game there. Rutland, of course, last night, 67-51. Had that close game there in double overtime against Columbia. Ely had 20 in that game. Boykin was 16.
The Lakeview scoring drought is 9 minutes and 38 seconds.
Unbelievable.
Since 52 left in the 2nd half. Wow.
2nd quarter, yeah. And they're going to look at Michelle Morgan fouled on her way to the hoop. But still not out of it. I mean, that's the thing. There's still 7 minutes left, and if any team could rip off 10 points real quick, it's this Lady Warrior team.
Well, these next 2 to 3 minutes are just absolutely critical. Make a couple of free throws here, you make it an 8-point game. You get a couple of threes, you got a ball game, the crowd will get energized, and strange things can happen.
Morgan with 8 points and a pair of rebounds. The junior, again, 5'8". Missed on the first. And those are certainly the ones you got to hit right there. You see Coach Thomaston in his 11th season looking for that first state championship. Morgan's second one is on the way, and it's good. First point for Morgan here in the 2nd half.
Full court pressure coming hard. Easily broken.
Easily Boykin.
Yes, easily Boykin. You're absolutely right.
Boykin,
Alyssa Jones, what a game she's. Look at that jump stop.
Wow.
What a game she's had.
Boy, that's just sweet right there.
Oh, my goodness.
Jones with just 4 points, but she's been probably the most active player on the floor here tonight, along with Boykin.
So I guess now we can say that Lakeview Fort Oglethorpe scored 1 point in 10 minutes.
Yep. Yeah, with that last free throw right there.
Nice look inside.
And that one off the board right there. Nice job. Jackie Shattuck, number 34, with her first points of the night. A 5'8" sophomore who averages a little over 8 points a game. Cross court right there. Carrollton showing a lot of patience. Obviously no shot clock in high school basketball. 3-point shot off the mark, would not go, but the follow is there. Great position for Billings.
Chelsea Billings stepping up every time down almost.
38-27, an 11-point lead here with just under 6 minutes to play. That shot is off the mark, it wouldn't go.
That time she screened it, took it to her left, saw the opening, but shot rather awkwardly, I'm afraid.
3-point shot from the corner, and it's there. Janice Ely,
who's been very quiet. Averages 17 points a game. She's been very quiet. And that's one of those dagger shots. that puts a slump in the opposing team.
And there's traveling right there. Morgan took a step. I'll tell you what, Ely might be quiet here tonight, but that last three-point shot got that loud Carrollton fan base on their feet.
And there are groups of people in red behind the Lakeview Fort Oglethorpe bench sitting on their hands at the moment.
41-27, timeout on the floor. It's a full timeout as you take a look at the LFO road to the state championship. Of course, they defeated St. Pius in round one, 47-43. Tight ball game right there. Stevenson, 75-59. Dunwoody, of course, that three-point thriller that came right down to the very end. And, of course, last night ran away with it a little bit over Baldwin. And both these teams, of course, coming off of semifinal appearances last night right here in this building and right back in the state championship here on a Saturday night.
The Quad A and 5A girls get a day in between. But to make this thing work, they have to go back-to-back.
Well, we hope you're enjoying our live broadcast of the best in Georgia high school basketball, and we ask that you stay tuned after the game for your opportunity to become a member of the Georgia Public Broadcasting family. Remember, it's viewers like you that help make great local programs like this possible, and we thank you for supporting Georgia Public Broadcasting. Remember, become a member today. Here you get a look at Charisma Boykin with 13 points here tonight. Certainly want to encourage folks, if you enjoy watching these state championships, please, let's make sure we keep it on the air. Let's keep the programming on the air. Log on, become a member at GPB.
If I were picking the Dave Garner star player of the game with 6 minutes left or so, it would be Charisma Boykin because of what she's done on both ends. But I certainly like a lot number 12, Alyssa Jones.
Well, she's done a great job here tonight. Has really created a lot of turnovers. She's one of those players that you really look to defensively more than anything as Weaver gets a hand on one. You know, at this time of the game, Dick, usually I'm looking down at my score sheets and it's looking pretty busy, but I'll be honest with you. Even Carrollton, you know, just 41 points here tonight, well shy of their average, but they've done enough. But not a lot of scoring here in the second half from either team, especially LFO.
This is all about lockdown defense. They are really playing aggressively on defense.
Nice look right there by Ely to keep it alive. And remember, LFO did break the scoreless streak, but they still haven't had a field goal. It's just one free throw that they had a minute or so back from Michelle Morgan. They still have not had a field goal since 52 seconds left in the second quarter, and we're almost halfway through the fourth.
And you can be sure that the followers of Lakeview Fort Oglethorpe have never seen a slump like this one since 52 left in the first half. They've never seen anything quite like that at all. They seem stunned over there.
Actually, I do stand corrected. Jackie Shattuck did have that one after the free throw right there, but just a moment ago. But yeah, still well over 9.5 minutes.
But the key people are not getting the looks at the basket for Lakeview Fort Oglethorpe.
Yeah, Kayla Weaver had her 6 early on and has been quiet since.
She was able to penetrate but couldn't finish. Awkwardly went up with 2 hands.
42-27. Again, it was just a 1-point game at the break in favor of LFO.
Slapped free by Kayla Weaver, but then the foul negates the good defensive effort. Fouls on Madison Smith. And she fouls out.
Yep. 5 there on Madison Smith as you see her over on the bench right there walking away against Smith, the 5'4" junior. Back again next season for Coach Weaver and this LFO team.
And at least she'll get a chance to kind of erase the memories of this performance.
That shot misses in and out there by Jones from the stripe. As we near the 4-minute mark. Again, a rematch from the Region 6 championship game this year. LFO has not lost to a AAA team all year long. Meanwhile, Carrollton with just 2 losses total. One of those that region title game. And, you know, as like Lisa mentioned up top here tonight, it might be a situation where that might have fueled the fire for this Carrollton team.
Pass.
Maybe gave them a little extra momentum. And there's 2 more for Billings.
Ashley McKenzie with a beautiful pass to the other side of the hoop for Billings.
A little miscommunication there. I think McKenzie thought Weaver was going to cut back door there, and
sure looked it.
Went one way and the pass went the other. Right into the hands of Boykin. And now this Carrollton team really can be patient in this situation.
Yeah, they're pulled out into kind of a delay offense. It's not a four corners, but it's a patient offense. Got to avoid the double team.
Foul on Weaver.
Weaver has fouls to give, and he's going to start fouling now with 3:19 left. Carrollton in the bonus. Second half scoring, Carrollton 21, Lakeview Fort Oglethorpe 3. It's a nightmare on Elm Street.
I was going to say yesterday was Friday the 13th, but both teams survived that round.
They did survive Friday the 13th. Well, maybe we could look ahead. Tomorrow's the Ides of March, which we should all beware.
That look by Coach Weaver pretty much says it all right here so far. Still not over with, but LFO's going to have to start finding some points here in a hurry. And that one out of bounds and right back to Carrollton.
They are just flummoxed by the high pressure on the ball outside. Boykin and Alyssa Jones, all hands out there.
3-on-1 numbers the other way. The roll not there. Billings with the putback gets it to roll.
Jones and Billings, while Boykin's playing defense, Jones and Billings are supplying the offense.
Well, Billings and Winters really complement Ely well inside. Usually Ely's that big post player most of the time, but you've got really a three-headed monster, if you will, down there with Billings and Winters.
Here's Weaver trying to just make something happen. Get free. Step up and under. Finally.
Got the roll.
That is Lakeview Fort Oglethorpe's second field goal in the last 9 minutes. Wow.
First points for Weaver since the first half. 46-29.
The fouls on Jackie Shattuck.
That's 10 team fouls, so double bonus here for the Lady Trojans. They'll shoot 2 the rest of the way with 2:23 to go.
The score is not a reflection of the abilities of these two teams because they've proven that during the season. This is just one of those nightmares you walk into where nothing falls for you and no pass is twisted out.
Cambry Winters with 5 points all here in the second half and a timeout on the floor with 2:23 to go. It's an 18-point ball game right here. Lady Trojans have steadily pulled away since the break. Trailed by 1 at halftime and have never looked back, though, after that. You see, of course, coming up a little bit later on here tonight, the final game of the weekend right here on GPB. It's the AAA Boys State Championship between Westover and South Atlanta. 29-6 Westover taking on 28-3 South Atlanta, who's played teams nationwide this year. And, boy, that's going to be an exciting game there.
And you and I will get our first look at Derek Favors, the Naismith National High School Player of the Year.
Here's a look at results from yesterday in the GHSA ASP Wheelchair Basketball Championship. It was the Atlanta Wolfpack over the West Georgia Wolverines. Southwest DeKalb over Fayette County in the 4A Girls Championship. 4A Boys belong to Miller Grove, who upended Tucker 59-31. And, of course, 5A Girls action saw Redan capture their title over Marietta 64-40. And 5A Boys action, it was Wheeler 73-53 over Milton. Again, that last night at the arena at Gwinnett Center. Earlier today, Wesleyan captured their 6th title in 8 years over Savannah Country Day in the Single A Girls title. Single A Boys, it was Whitfield Academy over Turner County a little while ago, 69-53. Of course, Double A Girls Championship saw Buford over Model 66-35 today at the Macon Centerplex. And a little while ago, it was Dublin 79-64 over Blessed Trinity. That game prior to this one right here. So, again, 9 down and almost 10 down, and 1 more to go here tonight as part of championship weekend here on GPB.
And in the meantime, while you were reading the results, it was yet another turnover to Carrollton, and Alyssa Jones was then quickly fouled, and she's at the line.
Jones knocking it down. 1 of 2 on that trip, 48-29 as we hit the
Look at them ready to double
mark.
up Weaver. See, they were almost ready to triple up Weaver on that play.
There were. Well, they realize right now that if LFO is going to come back in this game, it's going to have to come out of the hands of Kayla Weaver, and they figure their chances are good even if they have to leave someone else open to do it.
Well, I'm afraid to say this for Lakeview Fort Oglethorpe, but they're going to have to set a world record for threes if they're going to get back in this with 1:52 left. Billings on the boards again.
You know, it's not just one of those things where it's just been Weaver or what have you. I mean, they've had some open looks. They just haven't been able to get them to go. But Carrollton's defensive effort tonight has just been remarkable.
Now, this is the kind of offense where they're not playing to shoot. They're playing keep away. And so far, so good.
Foul on Jasmine Carey. Well,
exactly what they wanted to accomplish right there. They didn't want to go anywhere near the basket unless it was just absolutely wide open.
Probably be shooting free throws the rest of the way.
Exactly.
Again, allowing just 31 points a game this year is Carrollton. They've only given up 29 here so far tonight, so they're on pace to do that. But you don't expect a team realistically to do that in the state championship, and that just shows how dominant they've been.
You know, it's like in the NBA. A team just can have a rotten night, and you write it off. But when you have your worst night of the season in the state championship, you're just miserable. But it's time for Carrollton to celebrate. Coach Sean Thomaston clears the bench. The players whose names we've been calling all evening go to the bench.
Morgan McDonald into the lineup. Megan Parker, a freshman, will see some playing time right here, along with Quenisha Bray, another freshman. Number 34 also in the ball game right there for the Lady Trojans. Taken away right here. And Katie Turner in there.
Keep away, and the foul.
Second half scoring right here, and that pretty much says it. Carrollton 23 in the first half, 26 in the second half. LFO 24, and then it almost looks like a misprint right there, but that is correct. 5 points in the second half is all.
You know this ball club has never scored this few points in a quarter, or had a scoreless quarter. All you can do is just say the world turned upside down on us tonight.
Quenisha Bray records her name in the scorebook. She becomes the 7th different Lady Trojan to score here tonight. Second one on the way, misses that one. I think she was a little excited.
Sure. Well, with these freshmen in the game, the coach's job is getting them some experience in this big spotlight, the statewide television, and making them really want to come back here another time.
Kayla Weaver with the basketball, headed to Kennesaw State. Off the mark right there was Ashley McKenzie, a senior. Justine Evatt, a senior, playing her final ball game as well for LFO. Certainly nothing to be ashamed of here tonight as they hang their heads high, but this night has belonged to Carrollton, especially the second half.
When Kayla Weaver, who averages 21.6 a game, gets to Kennesaw State and gets a couple of hoops under her belt, I think she'll then recover from this evening in Macon, Georgia.
All smiles on that Carrollton bench as Morgan McDonald becomes the 8th different Lady Trojan to score with that last free throw, the 5'4" freshman. And what a thrill for some of these younger players to get a chance to step out here on the floor in this title game. Turnaround right there by Ashley McKenzie, and that's her first points of the second half.
That was the kind of play we thought we'd see tonight.
Whistle right there, and it will be LFO basketball. Dick, I tell you, I've enjoyed it. It's been a fun weekend right here. I've enjoyed working with your partner. And
you too, Dave. We'll go to Gwinnett Braves game some Sunday. How about that?
Sounds good.
And we won't talk basketball.
Back on the other end. That one kicked away. Time down to 11 seconds right here. Want to say hi to our entire GPB crew. Especially those handheld camera guys. Man, they've gotten it done. That is hard work holding the camera all weekend long.
You bet it is.
Before they have been on everything. All of our guys.
This is a big-time television production. Anybody who sees these Georgia playoffs knows that. You know, maybe the announcers could lose a little work, but the crew's got their act together.
On the other end, that one knocked away from Shattuck. 2 seconds left. And that will do it. 51-31 the final. And the Carrollton Lady Trojans, after coming up just short last year, capture the 2009 GA.
This is Georgia Public Broadcasting, your PBS station.
And the celebration is on for the Carrollton Lady Trojans, your 2009 GHSA Class 3A Girls State Champions. Let's go courtside to Lisa Wee, standing by with the victorious coach. Lisa.
Coach Thomaston, congratulations. I know this is exciting. Carrollton High School has its first ever basketball state title.
Yes, ma'am. I mean, I have to give it up to my kids. Very relentless. You know, at halftime, I told you, we started off slow the past 2 or 3 ball games, but we've actually gotten it together at halftime and regrouped in some way and found a way just to pull these games out. It's nothing but these first-class young ladies being willing to do whatever they're asked, whatever's being asked by their coach. You know, great community, a lot of support up here. I mean, there's no way we're going to let these people down tonight. So my kids played awesome.
Thank you so much. Enjoy this win.
Yes, ma'am.
Dave, back to you.
All right, thank you, Lisa. The Lady Trojans avenge a loss in the region championship, turn around and capture the state championship. That's going to wrap things up for our entire GPB crew. For Lisa Weiss, Dick Williams, I'm Dave Garner saying so long. 3A boys coming up here in a few minutes. But first, become a member with GPB and stay with us live.
Funding for this program is provided in part by Georgia's Electric Membership Corporations, the Georgia Student Finance Commission, Regions Bank, the Georgia Lottery, by viewers like you, and the Georgia High School Association, who wish to thank the Georgia Dodge dealers, State Farm, and Naturally Fresh for their support of GHSA athletic activities.